Have you ever looked at your character in D&D and wondered if there was any way to port them over to Pathfinder? If so, this video is for you. I'm going to summarize the 12 mainline D&D classes and how they're mirrored in Pathfinder. But first, a disclaimer about the thematic and mechanical matches across systems. This video is primarily about finding mechanical matches between D&D classes and their versions in Pathfinder. Most classes fill a similar narrative location. Clerics in both games draw power from a deity, fighters are still excellent at fighting, the wizard learns magic through intensive study, etc. Despite this, some classes have nothing in Pathfinder that matches their theme perfectly. When this is the case, I'll list an example of a possible alternative or two. Other than that, though, I'll be working to provide you with character options that serve as a mechanical match, such as the Paladin's Nova damage or the Sorcerer's metamagic. Barbarians are tanks and bruisers. Rage still provides a damage boost and gives temporary hit points. At later levels, it begins to give damage resistances. One difference is the brutal critical feature that barbarians have in D&D. In Pathfinder, barbarians have no such feature. Instead, you can get a similar effect by using a weapon with a fatal or deadly trait. Those both add an additional die of damage to your attack when it's a critical hit. Bards are support characters. Instead of bardic inspiration, which can be applied to a variety of checks and rolls, Pathfinder bards start out with a cantrip called Courageous Anthem. This grants them, and all allies within 60 feet, a bonus to attack and damage rolls for one turn. They do not get the Magical Secrets class feature, but Pathfinder's equivalent to multiclassing makes it easy for them to pick up magic from other spellcasting traditions. In addition, other portions of the Bard's class lets them grant bonuses to skill checks, armor class, or saving throws, in addition to attacks and damage rolls at later levels. Clerics are support characters. Instead of getting Channel Divinity, they get access to once-per-encounter abilities that are related to one of their deity's domains. A cleric of a sun god might get to throw bolts of fire at their enemies, or a god focused on healing can heal more with their spells than other clerics. They also get Divine Font, a pool of heal or harm spells that scale automatically. Players familiar with the 2024 rules for clerics will also be familiar with Pathfinder's cleric doctrines, which let players specialize their cleric in either spellcasting or martial abilities. Druids are blasters and control characters. One of the biggest changes with druids in Pathfinder is that not all druids get the ability to wild shape, and those that do have different rules for doing so. Druids are, however, still masters of natural magic. If you're looking for a replacement for your moon druid, you should look to the Untamed Order, which grants the ability to wild shape. For players who still want to wild shape, but also prefer to emphasize some other portion of their druid, such as an animal companion, they can choose to gain these benefits at a later level. Fighters are bruisers and strikers. One major way that fighters differ between systems is that there are no fighter subclasses in Pathfinder. Instead, players can customize their characters in other ways, like multiclassing or taking an archetype. Because the rules surrounding how many attacks a player can make in a turn are different, players looking to make a lot of attacks in one turn may want to look at the Flurry Ranger instead of a fighter. Alternatively, fighters can choose weapons that let them attack multiple times a turn more easily. Monks are strikers. In Pathfinder, they do not have ki as a resource. Instead, most of their abilities can be used for free, such as Flurry of Blows. If you're looking for a character that still has disposable resources, several of the monk's feats grant them a variety of powerful once-per-encounter abilities, such as one that empowers their Flurry of Blows to deal more damage. In a moment, I'm going to cover the rest of the classes and their matches in Pathfinder. But first, if you've enjoyed this video so far, or if you've learned something new, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. I plan to make weekly videos like this one to teach D&D players more about the Pathfinder system. Now, on to the rest of the classes. Paladins are strikers and bruisers. Paladins do not exist in Pathfinder, but a similar class fills the same flavor niche. Champions are divinely empowered warriors who embody a cause. While champions do not have a built-in match with Smite, another class, the Magus, allows players to combine a weapon attack with a spell, both delivered in the same strike. Those looking to replicate the bonuses that paladins grant to saving throws should consider playing a bard, or a class with a bard multiclass, specifically for the Rallying Anthem feat and focus spell. Rangers are strikers and bruisers. In Pathfinder, Rangers do not center around Hunter's Mark. Instead, they have a focus around their 3 subclasses. One of those subclasses, the Precision Edge, serves a similar focus to Hunter's Mark. As one of your 3 actions, you can mark a creature, then your first attack against it in a turn deals bonus damage. Alternatively, those looking to repeatedly deal bonus damage could investigate Rogues, whose sneak attack in Pathfinder is not limited to once per turn, and can be attached to every strike. Rogues are strikers. In Pathfinder, instead of trying to get an ally next to their enemy, or get advantage on their attack rolls, rogues must typically make their enemy off guard to sneak attack. Being off guard also makes their enemies' AC lower by 2. The most common way for rogues to make enemies off guard is to flank that enemy. You flank an enemy by standing on the opposite side of an enemy as an ally. Those looking for the rogue's skill expertise will be happy to hear that they still have a strong focus on skills. Instead of getting double their proficiency bonus to select skill checks, rogues in Pathfinder get more skill increases than most other classes, retaining their focus on being a versatile skill user. Sorcerers are a versatile class that does not fall into any predetermined categories, other than simply caster. They are also no longer the premier metamagic users in Pathfinder. Those looking for metamagic options should turn to wizards, who can specialize in metamagic. That doesn't mean that sorcerers can't access and benefit from metamagic. They very much can, but they have a harder time mastering it in the same way that wizards can. Instead, sorcerers get to access powerful magic from their bloodline. Warlocks are strikers and blasters. They do not have a direct counterpart in Pathfinder. Instead, players that are looking for the same theme of serving a powerful being that's not quite a god, but not quite a mortal, can play a witch. These characters are servants of a powerful and mysterious patron that grants them a familiar, which is the source of their magic. Players who miss Eldritch Blast can play a psychic, spellcasters who use powerful cantrips. Wizards are blasters and controllers. They are fairly similar across systems. One of the biggest differences is how wizards treat their subclasses across systems. In Pathfinder, wizards have no option to specialize in any particular school of magic, like evocation. Instead, their schools act more like other wizard schools from 5e, such as the School of War Magic or Blade Singing. There you go. All 12 mainline D&D classes and their matches in Pathfinder summarized. I hope this video helped you to understand the Pathfinder 2nd Edition system a little better. If you have any questions about transferring your character across systems, please comment down below, and I'll make sure to answer it. Anyways, I hope you learned something from this video, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.